and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time. I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor at New Life Christian Center at 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to discuss whatever topics are important to you and whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here because God is concerned about that which concerns you. And we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which we thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here to discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart and whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about everything that concerns you. That is the reason that we are here broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, our sponsor for 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money. At FijiWater.com, this is not just ordinary water, this is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you who use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you for your commitment and for your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I have a couple of items that I need to cover. And first and foremost, I want to say to everyone, we invite you, if you're in our area, come and worship with us. Come and experience a better quality of life. We are located, New Life Christian Center is located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. There's parking on Hillcrest. We are the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. I know there's a little construction going on right now, and will be for the next couple of weeks, but we invite you to come and worship and experience a better quality of life. Service begins every Sunday at 10 a.m. And if you're not in our area, you can tune in live for the Sunday sermon at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We go live at 10:45 a.m. If you're in our area, you don't want to miss praise and worship, which begins at 10 a.m. We have a glorious time. We have a good time. And we have a good time just being Christians. So we invite you to come and worship with us. Now, I want to say thank you to all of our listeners and viewers who communicated about yesterday's broadcast. So every first Thursday of the month, we have with us our registered and licensed dietitian and nutritionist, who's our monthly contributor, Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, RebeccaTheDietitian.com. And yesterday we had a technology issue. Our technology failed. We did a whole broadcast yesterday, and we still don't know yet until we talk to IT later today if that broadcast has been archived for us to upload, because it did not go live yesterday. For some reason, there was a glitch in the system. It did not go live. And Becca shared a lot of great information with us. So hopefully we'll be able to go back and upload that broadcast if it's someplace in the cloud or whatever the case may be, and we'll be able to upload it so that you can play that broadcast. In addition to that, because as you know, Becca's now live with us on the screen here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. We may try to get her back at some point before the holiday, and if not, because of her schedule, certainly the first Thursday of January we will be back live with Becca. And one of the things I announced yesterday is that we're going to start doing something. First of all, we're going to have someone work with Becca again in the coming year. We had Sis Anna Lee work with, Miss Anna Lee work with Sis Becca last year from July till December, and she came on and talked about her experience working with Becca for her health and wellness and diet and nutrition. So we're going to have someone else. We're going to pick a listener and viewer. We're going to have a contest, of course, a promotion, and we're going to select someone to work with Becca virtually for your health and wellness. But then we're going to also invite you to come on the screen with us, zoom in, so that you can talk about your experience and talk about how the information she's providing you is impacting your health and wellness. And we're going to start inviting people to come in on the segment when Becca is here once a month. So be prepared for that. We're going to start doing some new things. We really want to continue to move forward with what we're doing with the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, because we want everyone to be whole in their body, mind, and spirit. And I want to remind everyone, we are Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and we are YouTube Live at Daily Divine Direction, and we want you to stay connected with us on our 24-hour internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio, which you can reach us at WKAPfaith.com. And so before I get into a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, I just want to say to all of you who communicated wondering where the broadcast was on yesterday, it was a technology failure. We did a whole broadcast. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it back, but I'm hoping that when we talk to IT today, we will be able to get the broadcast back and upload it. And if not, then we will move forward from there. So I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated, so you took exception to the fact that I said living your life to be spontaneous. No, I'm sorry. This wasn't our listener and viewer who sent this in originally, but one of our listeners and viewers sent in a communication saying they took it a little bit, took exception to the fact that they took it personal. So they took exception to the fact that I said if you're living your life to be spontaneous, a spontaneous life is a life of chaos and disruption. So one of our listeners and viewers said, Pastor, how can you say that if I'm living my life just because I want spontaneity, I want to be spontaneous, how can you say that I'm living a life of chaos and disruption? Well, it's the truth. That's why I can say it. It is the fact that without order, we have chaos. We have drama. We have issues, a lot of issues. So we all have issues. I get it. But having issues doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have drama, chaos, disruption. If you're living to be spontaneous, if all you're looking for is some moments of spontaneous, first of all, you are wasting much of your precious life, because you're only going to be able to be, think about this, you're only going to be able to be spontaneous periodically. You can't be spontaneous every day because you have to go to work. If you don't work, you don't eat. You can't be spontaneous every day because people around you, people who are part of your life, have to work. We all have busy lives, and we have to keep our lives in order. We have to manage our time. We have to manage our lifestyle. We have to manage our capital, our finances. If you do not have order, consistent order in your life, you are going to have chaos and you're going to have disruption. You're going to find yourself living in drama. More often than not, spontaneity is only a quick emotional charge. I want to do something. I want to drop everything else and do something that's going to make me feel good for the moment. That moment's only going to last just for a moment. It's not sustainable long term. And so what we're doing is disrupting the quality of our lives by trying to enjoy a moment that is only going to make us feel good emotionally. what I'm encouraging everyone to do is to live your life with order, live your life with purpose, live your life, let me rephrase that, live your life with order, live your life with potential, and live your life with purpose. So what does that mean to have a life that is order, that is based on order, structure, discipline, structure, knowing what you want to accomplish every single day and not deviating from that. So I'll give an example. So my day started this morning, of course. I was up at 5:30. I had meditation, I had prayer, and I had someplace to be. I was at our Achievers Academy this morning at 7:30 a.m. And at one of our Achievers Academy at 7:30 a.m. So I was there until 9:15. And I left there and I had a breakfast meeting. And that was from 9:30 until 11. Then I had to be back here to get into production for the broadcast. When the broadcast is completed, I have calls to make to IT about yesterday's broadcast that had a total technical failure. And then I have some investment work to work on. I have to, do some administrative work for the church and the ministry. I have some development work to do. Then I have to manage people. And then I have to focus on, some marketing for our sponsors. I have to focus on our operations for this weekend for the church. So my whole day is filled with order. And then I have to continue to study and prepare for Saturday and Sunday. I'm actually preaching Saturday and Sunday. Saturday not at my church, Sunday at our church. Now, I'm saying all of that to say, that's a full day of order. Every moment of your day has to be ordered by God, but it has to be ordered by you also. You have to make a decision that you're going to have order in your entire day. God is a God of order. And you have to discipline yourself to not vary from that. But I was going to get into what happened at breakfast. So when I left the house this morning, I had decided the restaurant I was going to has a very good breakfast, and it's one of my cheat places for breakfast. If I'm going to have breakfast there, I'm going to have very specific things. And some of those things involve carbohydrates. But I decided that today was going to be a protein day partly based on what Becca, the dietitian, shared with us yesterday. And I focused on my protein today. So, I'm going to go through this whole scenario. I'm doing the St. Jude's 3,000 push-ups for the month of December. So today I wanted to focus on protein. So I went to this restaurant, and when I left the house this morning, I said to my wife, I'm going to make today a protein day because she knows what I eat when I go to this restaurant. And I said, I'm not going to have any carbs. So I'm going to eliminate the creative breakfast that they will prepare for us. And so I said all of that to say, if I didn't have discipline, I would have changed my menu for the day, what I was going to have. And I would have just said, I'm going to be spontaneous and I'm just going to eat whatever I want to eat. But that doesn't enhance my health and wellness. It'll disrupt my health and wellness. Now, I'm thankful to God that I'm in excellent health. But the reality is that if you don't have order, if you don't have discipline, if you don't have structure, you're going to have chaos, drama, and disruption. That does not lend to a great quality of life. So we have to be mindful. We have to make an effort. So when I say to you spontaneity is overrated, Or when I say to you, if you're living to be spontaneous, you're living a life of chaos and disruption, it's the truth. It's not, that's not an opinion, that's a fact. Because you've got to disrupt everything else in your day to be spontaneous for a moment. And that's not going to lead to a great quality of life. So I understand you took it personal, but sometimes when we hear something that's going to benefit us, we might take it a little personal. What I'm going to ask you to do is take your emotions out of the equation and recognize that what is being said is just a fact. It's not an opinion, it's not a perspective, it's a fact. Spontaneity is going to disrupt, going to create chaos, disruption, or drama in the quality of your life. So let's work on being practical, being orderly, being disciplined, living a life of structure, and maximizing the fullness of God in all of our lives. I thank you for sending in the communication. I want to make certain that you had clarity, so that's the reason I'm addressing that clarity. So now I'm going to focus on, as soon as I do a little business with our sponsor, I'm going to focus on getting back to the relationships that we've been talking about, because so many of you have sent in communications regarding relationships, so we're going to deal with that. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text. On the T-Mobile call or text line, we will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. The T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that men are generally intimidated by you. You want to know, how do you make men more comfortable with you? You feel that men are intimidated by you because of your appearance, because of your career, and so when men are speaking to you, they tend to be more withdrawn and they tend to be intimidated, is what you said. So let me kind of walk you through how you can overcome the fact that you feel men are more intimidated by you and less comfortable being in your presence. You started off in your communication saying part of it is by your appearance. So, look, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But if you're beautiful, you're beautiful. That's just a fact of life. But you have to be to the beholder. So I don't know that it's so much that men are intimidated by your beauty as it is just trying to feel comfortable, because first of all, you may not seem approachable to them, but once they get past approaching you and then they find out what you do for a career, they're a little bit taken back because of the competitive nature. They feel the necessity to compete with you. When a man doesn't feel the necessity to compete with you, then he's not going to be intimidated. But here's how you can make them more comfortable speaking to you. How about allowing the man to guide the conversation? See, you're so accustomed to having to guide the conversation because you feel men are intimidated by you that you're not allowing the man to guide the conversation. A man will be able to guide the conversation, a real man, because he has goals and he has a plan. You can't have goals without a plan. So they'll be able to share with you their goals and their plan. And then they'll be able to ask you questions about how you feel about their goals and about their plan. If they're not going to feel that their goals are compatible with you, or their plan can encompass your plan also, then you're going to find that out very quickly. Because real men know what they want to accomplish. And what I mean by that when I say real men, so, once upon a time, we were all developing to become men. We started out as boys. I'm not gonna sing, I promise you. And we matured to men. Along the way, we had to develop. We had to develop certain abilities, skill sets, talents. We had to develop. But once we become real men, once we understand what God has purposed for our lives, we then begin to set goals. And once we set those goals, we surround those goals with a plan, with a feasible plan. If we don't have goals, we can't develop a plan. The goal for all of us should be, and this is not a cliche, to experience the fullness of God in all of our lives. What can we do every single day to arrive at the next level that will allow us to experience the fullness of God? You got to allow the man to drive the conversation. If he can't drive the conversation, if he cannot guide the conversation, then he's not for you, because he's not prepared. You're prepared, watch this, you're prepared to be a wife. You're prepared to be a life partner. You're prepared to, and I know people will say, well, Pastor, that sounds like a worldly term of society today. No, marriage is having a life partner, someone who's going to be in your life forever, God willing. So we have to look at every component of relationships and marriage. You're prepared. You've been preparing yourself. You haven't been dating a lot because you believe men have been intimidated by you. You haven't been dating a lot because some men don't believe that you're approachable, that they can approach you. And then I'm going to get to the men in a moment, because, one of the things that I've noticed in our society today is that real men know how to approach a woman. And the way that they approach a woman is they introduce themselves and they ask you for your name. Pure and simple. That's a very simple step to getting to know someone. You introduce yourself, tell me your name. And then once they tell you their name, then you can ask very specific questions. So I'm going to get to the men in a moment. But for you, our dear listener and viewer, if you are willing to allow men to guide the conversation, you're going to find that you have the opportunity to take the next step to building a relationship that will lead to marriage. You're ready. We just got to get the men ready. And now I want to say to all of our men listeners and viewers out there, you don't have to approach a woman in the way that society tells us is cool. All you have to do is introduce yourself and ask her to introduce herself. And then once she does that, you can then ask them very specific questions. And for those who are going to be dating, here's what I'm going to say to you. The questions are this. I would like to take you out to lunch, and I would like to do that I'd like to take you out on a date, and I'd like to do that by taking you to church with me and then out to lunch. It's real simple. It's non-threatening, and it's easy. Now, I know some people are going to say, Pastor, that's taking the easy way out. No, that's not what I'm talking about. When I say it's easy, it's comfortable for everyone. It's just lunch. That's an easy transition into being able to talk about your 7-year plan, your 14-year plan, and your 21-year plan. And you can do that over 3 dates. Church, lunch, church, lunch, church, lunch. And you can discuss every 7 years of your plan. You can talk about your goals. You can talk about family history. You can talk about the issues of life that you've experienced that may or may not be deal breakers for you. You can talk about what long-term life looks like for you, God willing that we shall all live. And then you'll know everything you need to know about whether or not you want to make an effort to pursue a relationship. You still have to have one, but you can at least determine if you really want to pursue a relationship and if you're going to go any further doing that. So, for the men, let's do things differently. We don't need to, we don't need to try to be the slick, debonair man that society has told us is what we can do to catch fish. In other words, to go fishing and catch. No, we got to do things very simply, very practical, and with a purpose. Very, very intentional. Be intentional about everything. If we do that, we're going to be more successful in our relationships. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. If you're in the market for one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. You basically have the opportunity to build out your own Porsche. And if you currently own one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured in a Porsche, if you're in our area, stop into PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Didio, General Manager of Porsche Delaware. He will make certain that you're taken care of for your purchase. But if you already own one and you're in need of service, ask to speak to Mike Adams. He is the service manager at PorscheDelaware.com. He will make certain that you get an appointment scheduled, that your vehicle is picked up at your home or office and returned to you after service has been completed. And this segment is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need: shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. I'm in Charles Tyrwhitt Attire today. And if you are not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on 5th Avenue in New York where they have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. If you're not in New York, if you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I was going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, but I want to remind everyone before we go off the air today. So yesterday would have been our day to have BeccaTheDietitian.com with us. Rebecca Booth, a licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist. She was with us yesterday. We did a whole broadcast and unfortunately had technology failure. It never went live. So I just want to say to all of you who communicated, thank you for trying to tune in. We're going to determine whether or not that broadcast was saved in the cloud, and if so, we'll upload it. If not, we'll keep moving forward and keep doing some things that are going to allow us to really enhance our health and wellness. Becca will be with us again, if not before, certainly on the first Thursday of January in the new year, but we are going to try to get that yesterday's broadcast uploaded if it's available. And I just want to say to all of you, I received so many communications from you about yesterday. It was just complete technical failure. We were on the air. We were doing the broadcast. We were live doing the broadcast. Unfortunately, we had technical failure. So thank you for trying to tune in. Stay with us always, as you have since 2017. We are always here live in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. This broadcast today, as always, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep His face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being with you on Sunday at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And, of course, being together again on Monday. Have a great day today.